Hey y'all, a lot of people ask me, Christian DJ Barbecue, how do you set up your grill? I'm gonna show you my technique that always works for me, which is the half and half technique. Charcoal on one side, no charcoal on the other. I have my hot zones, my medium zones, my kind of mellower zones, and then I have my indirect side, charcoal. Now, I use a lot of different charcoals. I do have friends who make charcoal, but this is how you can do it at home. Just get a bag of single species or mixed species charcoal. I like to go single species a lot of the time because then I know where my hot spots are. All woods have a different core cooking temperature. So that's good. Half the bag with charcoal, lump wood, that natural lump woods that you would find in your supermarkets or garden centers. Then I show off a bit. So I've got this stuff called marabou. It's Cuban, kind of this thorn wood. It's an invasive weed that took over all these areas where they were gonna farm. And they didn't farm, and then the weed took over, and now they have a big problem. So they make it into charcoal, but it's an amazing charcoal. So I'm gonna open up my friend from Oxford Charcoal, Matt Williams. So it looks kind of like a weed. And when they make it, they dig these big pits in the clay, and when they heat up the wood to turn it into charcoal, the clay heats up, and the iron, the red clay is iron rich, kind of seeps into the wood, and you get this solid sound, so it's really kind of musical. It's thick and it burns for a really long time. A lot of charcoals will last you maybe 30 minutes to 45, sometimes 50 minutes if you're lucky, but it depends on who's making your charcoal. I put a couple of these long ones. You can't put them in the bottom because they just don't heat up. So they go on top. They're gonna need a bit more time. And then I just grab last week's newspaper and I grab 2 pieces of paper off of it and I ball them up and then pull out my trusty lighter. I use the chimney flume because the chimney flume, I got this one off Weber. Fuel needs oxygen and flame. And this kind of concentrates all that oxygen to shoot up into there. So look, it's got these little holes here, and then the oxygen is getting sucked in there. The warmth pulls the oxygen up. Like if you're having a hard time getting your chimney going, sometimes what I'll do is, because you've got cold air coming from the top of the chimney, I'll roll up a newspaper, fold the end, and make a bit of like a torch. And I'll hold it up into the flume, so I kind of get a draft going. I turn back the cold air going down the chimney flume. This kind of works in the same way. So people always say, man, it takes me so long to get my charcoal going. Well, if you use this technique, you can have hot coals in about 8 minutes. Maybe 9-10 with these, big hunks of marabou. They're not even that big. They're just intense. They burn slow and low, but they do hold a good heat. All right, so let's time it. Give me 7 minutes and I'll have some charcoal ready for y'all. My charcoal's been cooking for about 4 minutes in our chimney flume here. And check it out, man. We've really got some good stuff going down there. The marabou is gonna take a bit longer, but if you look underneath it, but I wanna get some reaction starting on these guys. You can always add natural lump wood to your cook, and it won't taint the taste of your meat if it's well-made lumpwood charcoal. Briquettes that contain chemical binders, you want them cooking before you go on. They want to be gray. Otherwise, those chemicals that bind those briquettes will taint the taste of your meat. Our charcoal's been cooking for about 7 to 8 minutes. I shook it down a bit so that Cuban marabou could settle amongst the English Oxford charcoal that I got in there. And it's good. I mean, look at that. Got a lot of heat on in there. I'm gonna go half and half. I'm gonna put it on this side. Once it all goes in, I'm gonna maneuver it with my tongs and just give half my cooker the heat. And I'll pile it up high on one side and then taper it down, kind of like a slope technique. Hey, if I'm doing I want a quick grill here, a hot grill here, a medium here, and then I got this kind of middle zone, like the equator, right there. And then over here, I can slow cook by putting the lid on. So that's a really good bed of charcoal. I got some single species, I've got the marabou in there, a little center plate on that. Get the wire bristles to give it a clean. So that's a lemon I've been using to clean all day. So I just sliced that bit off and I got fresh lemon to work with. And there you have it, DJ Barbecue's technique for setting up his cooker. I use the chimney flume, single species or mixed charcoal, and then I 2 rolls of newspaper in the bottom. Give it about 7 to 8 minutes. Throw it on one side of your cooker. You can quick grill over here, you can slow cook over here, and then put your lid on, and then those bigger cuts of meat. We did like a lamb rump, a picanha. So we got that crust on it. The caramelization just kept moving it over here. And you can slow cook meat. Put a whole chicken on over here. Throw a turkey on your cooker. And that's how I set my cooker up. Thanks for watching. If you want to see any other techniques, tell me what you want to see. I'll do it for you. Within reason. Bye.